Welcome to Creative Living, where we help you live your most creative life. I'm Jane Manzuris. Now, summer is a very popular time to tie the knot. So today, we're talking weddings. But first, let's take a look at what's coming up on the show. We'll talk wedding dress trends with the experts, a keepsake wedding gift that will make the special couple smile, plus a trip to Oklahoma for a unique rooftop experience. That and so much more on this episode of Creative Living. It's wedding season, and I'm in the process of planning my own wedding, and we all know that saying yes to the dress is crucial in that planning process. So joining me here today from Remi Raine Bridal, we've got Steve and Jasmine. You guys, I'm so excited to see all these gowns behind me. I can't wait to dive into bridal gowns. But first, let's talk about Remi Raine Bridal. This is a family-owned company, Steve.
Yes, it's a family-owned company. I have my daughter, my son, my daughter-in-law. It's great to go to work with family every day.
I bet it is, and that's why you can really be the boss and tell
That's
your
right.
family
Tell
what you
them
need to get
everything.
done. Yeah. The name is so cute, Remi Raine. What is that from?
Remi Raine is based off my two granddaughters, Mia Raine and Remi Sophia.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Absolutely.
And Jasmine, we got to talk about trends because today's wedding gown is not your mother's wedding gown, but it could be.
It could be.
So what are some of the latest trends that we're seeing in gowns today?
A lot of the latest trends are more of the low backs, see-through, sheer bodice. Pretty much what every bride wants is to be sexy on her wedding day.
And I'm also seeing a trend of brides getting a second dress. Are you seeing that a lot?
We are. So brides, want to walk down the aisle with the long trains, heavy dresses, but for the reception, they want something light, fun, playful, so they go with a second dress or a jumpsuit.
Wow, and that's a lot of fun. Are women recycling and repurposing maybe their mother's or their aunts' or grandmother's dresses?
Yeah, a lot of times we see a lot of women bring in their mother or grandmother's dress, change it into something else, or they'll take pieces of the lace and add it onto their dress.
That's so cool. I've seen a lot, or I've heard a lot, when you're trying on these dresses, you're making it a party. You're not just bringing your mother, you're bringing all of your girlfriends.
Exactly.
Is that something a bride should do, or does that make it a little bit, more stressful?
It honestly makes it more stressful. The more opinions you have, the more you'll be confused, and you probably won't find your dress if you have a lot of opinions with you.
Really? So you would recommend just showing up solo?
Not necessarily solo, maybe your mother or maid of honor, sister, mother-in-law-to-be,
And what should a bride be thinking about when selecting the perfect dress for them?
what she's comfortable in. What is her personality? What does she want her fiance to see her in?
Talk a little bit about lace versus beading versus type of materials we're using.
Yeah, so a lot of the dresses right now have a lot of lace. Some have beading, some just have beading, no lace. It just depends on your style. A lot of brides kind of want their own thing right now, so they kind of can customize what they want.
What if a bride wants her dress right away? Do we have to wait? Like they say, you got to get in there and order your dress 6 months ahead of time. Do they want to bring it home right away, or should we be waiting?
Most brides want to bring it home right away. However, at our store you can. We do have a lot of off-the-rack brand new gowns that you can take home with you. But if you do want to custom change the color, the sleeves, whatever, then you'll have to wait probably 6 to 8 months for it.
And you got to see, Steve, a lot of brides and their mothers coming in very anxious and concerned, and we're going to be spending some money on this. What am I going to do? What kind of advice do you have for these brides in picking their perfect dress?
Just come in, relax, take it easy. We have professionals there to help you guys out, and we make it comfortable. We provide snacks and drinks, and just relax.
Try not to go to too many places because you will get overwhelmed. And although you want to make it a party, try not to listen to everybody's opinion, because you'll have 15 different opinions, but yours is the only one that matters because you're the one wearing the dress.
And enjoy the process.
Absolutely.
I love that. Now, what I really love are these beautiful gowns behind me. Jasmine, tell me what we're looking at.
So one of them, we do have an Eddie K. The style is CT234. It's a mermaid classic with the lace all the way throughout with beading. It does have the sheer bodice, so it kind of gives you that sexy but still classy feel. Another one we have is the Tanya Gregg, the Tiffany. It's more of a ball gown. It has the horsehair trim, so it is flowy as you move. And then the bodice is a little bit tighter, so everybody gets that snatched waist that they're always talking about.
Which is great. They always say if you're going to go on that wedding crash diet, lose it from the waist up, because all you need is good shoulders.
Right? Yeah, And then another one we have is a little more trendy. So it's gonna give you the low back with a deep V, and it's gonna be very sheer, kind of see-through, more for that beachy feel.
That's
bride.
perfect. That's great.
Yeah. And then the last one we brought with us, it is a classic A-line with a sweetheart bodice. This one has no lace. So for the bride that likes bling and glitter, that's what you should go with.
So exciting. So it really is about personalizing your look and sort of feeling into what you want your wedding to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. You guys, I cannot wait to stop by Remi Raine Bridal. Thanks for all the great information. For more information on Remi Raine Bridal, just head to their website. Whether it's an engagement party or reception in Oklahoma, they have a rooftop bar that will have you feeling on top of the world. Let's take a look at Sidecar.
The original concept was a sidecar to our very first chop house, Broadway 10. But Sidecar alone has evolved into so much more. We become Oklahoma City's premier rooftop patio bar. When people come here, the initial experience is seeing our massive liquor storage at the very top of the bar. It's a full 360. You can walk around as a guest and see every single bottle of liquor and wine that we sell here. When they come out to the rooftop patio with a big garage door that's rolled up, I mean, it's just kind of a wow factor. They come here for good drinks and good times. And when they sit here on the patio, we're kind of an urban oasis. I mean, they feel like they're on top of the world. I mean, you feel like you could be in LA or Dubai, but you're right here at home in Oklahoma. Sidecar has really revolutionized rooftop bars in the city. There is kind of a need for live music, especially in northern Oklahoma City, and we bridge that gap by offering awesome local talent with a premier space and awesome drinks.
This is a really unique experience as far as bands being able to play here. There aren't any other venues that are like this. And this venue came along at a time where we really needed new live music venues. So it's been a great blessing in the town for a lot of local players.
You know, when we first opened, we only did live bands once a week. We did them on Thursday nights. And then the next year, we saw such a huge following for it that we added another day. And so we're doing it twice a week on Wednesdays and Thursdays, which aren't really the largest days of the week to have a busy night at a bar. And we're having a huge following every single week, every single Wednesday and Thursday.
I think the atmosphere is really conducive to live music just because of the way the stage is located. Everyone that's sitting out here is paying attention to the band. And it's a very involved experience for both the band and the people that are out here watching.
So we do some really fun things here. For one, we do smoked red wine glasses. Anybody that wants a smoked wine glass, we put some hickory chips. We smoke them and it swirls on the inside of the glass. It creates that extra sensory experience of a backyard campfire smell as you're taking a sip. Our number one sold item though is the old fashioned. We have a smoky old fashioned where we do the same thing. We light some hickory chips, smoke the glass, and then we create an old fashioned using a really spicy rye whiskey and sugar cubes. So it's not too sweet, it's not too bold, it's a perfect balance. Although we do have a small food menu, what we do well. So we have a nice charcuterie board. One of the more hit items are smoked turkey panini. It's stacked. I mean, we have 1.5 inches of smoked turkey with some smoked Gouda, Havarti, barbecue, bacon. I mean, it's wonderful. Yes, for beer drinkers, you definitely need to have an open mind. We have a great relationship with local breweries. We carry quite a few local options that people in any genre would love. And we hit all the demographics. You know, I would say here at Sidecar, our demographic is just alive at heart. We hit everything from young professionals to baby boomers, and anybody in between. We're really just anybody who wants to have a good time and a good drink.
One of the quickest ways to inflate your wedding budget is an out-of-control guest list. Try to whittle it down by at least 20%. Don't feel obligated to invite those people you don't really know. It's your big day, so don't let social pressure get in the way. Stick around, we've got more coming up on Creative Living. We'll get planting advice from Armstrong Garden Centers and a backyard oasis that any bride would be happy to say yes in. Greenery and and florals are a big part of a wedding. And gardening without the guesswork is Armstrong Garden Centers' motto for over 125 years. And they've got some great gardening tips for us.
Hi, I'm Luke Sims with Armstrong Garden Center, and today I've got 3 tips to spruce up your garden for spring. First off, to get your veggies and herbs in the ground as soon as possible to get a nice early start. We have over 30 varieties of tomato here at Armstrong, including Celebrity, which are these big guys right here. These are good for slicing and putting on sandwiches. They're even good by themselves, a little salt and pepper, and they're delicious. Another one we have are Romas. These are really popular in pretty much any Italian dish. They're good for sauces. They hold that pasta together real well. The last one we've got are the small cherries. We've got the Sun Golds and the Sweet 100s here. They're really sweet, bite size. You can toss them in a salad, and they give you a great explosion of flavor when you bite into them. We also carry a myriad of herbs like rosemary, lavender, and basil. It's important to get them in early so that they can beat the heat once it comes. Rosemary you can use in cooking. That's a big hardy bush, a great staple for your garden. Next I've got lavender. These are great for cut flowers and making things like oils and soaps. They smell heavenly. Thirdly, I've got basil here. This is our most popular food herb that we've got. It is a great flavor, included in lots of Italian dishes. The flowers also happen to attract lots of pollinators like bees and butterflies for the garden. And you can pair them with things like flowering shrubs such as roses, tagetes, and other flowering shrubs. The next thing you can do to get your garden happy and healthy for spring is to use the proper soil. And from squash to succulents, we can meet all of your soil needs. It's very important to use an organic soil that is well drained with a high nutrient content and a regular fertilizer schedule. We've got the well-drained cactus soil, we've got healthy, hardy veggie soil, and we have a great all-purpose for any ornamentals that you want. Another thing you can do to keep your garden happy and healthy is to introduce beneficial insects. First of all, we have ladybugs that do things like eat aphids, mealybugs, and other soft-bodied insects. They're also really cute and fun for the kids. Another thing we've got are praying mantis. Praying mantis are a little bit bigger, a little more fun. They are going to eat larger things like caterpillars and flying insects. The last one I've got here are decollate snails. These are carnivorous snails that you introduce into the garden. They roam around and eat all of the bad snails that you don't want hanging around. For more tips on how to spruce up your garden this spring, stop by your neighborhood Armstrong Garden Centers and speak with one of our friendly gardening experts today.
A California man decided to turn his unused backyard into a dreamscape. And with the help of RPC Block Brick, it became a reality.
For the first time, as soon as they come to the backyard, especially in the evening when the lights are on and the fireplace is on, they like take a step back and say, whoa, you got a nice yard. One day my wife and I were sitting out here having some coffee in the morning, and we were looking out towards just an empty hill. I said, you know, that's a lot of square footage up there that isn't getting used. She's like, well, do you have anything in mind? And I said, yes, hold on one sec. So I ran inside real quick, grabbed a piece of paper and a pencil, came back out, and in a matter of about 5 minutes, I sketched out a little drawing for her. And I said, this is probably what I have in mind here.
Rob came in with a sketch on a piece of paper, and it was like really rough. But what was great, because it gave us an idea of what he wanted to accomplish. We were able to direct him in the right direction, give him a couple choices on what walls to use, what stone veneer he could use.
Veneer stone, I think, is my favorite. If I had a chance, I'd probably veneer stone my room if my wife didn't put the stop on that. So.
And from there, we helped him out with some installation videos and I believe some contractor referrals to get an initial quote before he started the project himself.
This entire project from start to finish took about a year and 2 months.
I would have expected Robert to maybe hire a contractor because that is an incredible job. I mean, he did an amazing job.
Well, my crew was basically a crew of one, and mostly my nephew, my sons would come around, and the way I'd get these guys to come over, I'd say, hey, I'm throwing a barbecue this weekend, come on over. And they didn't know that I had shovels waiting for them so they can help me actually dig it out and stuff. I told them I'd feed them afterwards, but you know, they had to do a little work first and stuff, so. I would recommend a lot of planning, preparation, really talking to skilled workers that know how to do this type of work before you even lay the first stone. RPC Block Brick has a lot of useful information, whether it's on their web or just talking to the guys over there. They're more than happy to talk to you about any kind of design or any kind of wall or something that you're wanting to build.
Food is always an important part of the wedding, so try getting a little creative. Some couples are opting for less formal foods like barbecue, or you can wow your guests with a dessert station with donuts and cookies. All that matters is that the food tastes good. Okay, let's see what's coming up on the show. I crashed the craft room of a musician who loves to turn old cigar boxes into memory keepers. And planning your wedding can be a huge task. Just ask me. I know. Well, I've got tips to help you prioritize your time. I took a trip to Atlanta to meet a musician who takes his artistic talents into the craft room to show us how to make a keepsake box that can be personalized for a unique wedding gift. This is Craft Room Crash, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, outside DIYer George Skaroulis' house. Now, he's a musician and an artist and a photographer. So I guess you could say he's a real Renaissance man. But what happens when you combine all of his passions into one? Well, let's go crash his craft room and find out what George is making today.
Hey, Jane.
Hey, George.
I'm finally getting crashed. Come on in.
Let's do it. This is your garage.
It is my garage. I feel like my craft room is kind of like walking into Ellis Island and seeing old luggage and flashing back to my heritage.
Wow, there's lots of things in here.
Yeah, I've got old luggage, I've got all my rubber stamps. Everything is there. It's just all hiding behind the curtains. Even behind the mirror, there's stuff everywhere.
Oh, yes, of course. And you've got your little storage bins
Yes.
in here.
When I was a kid, if I had a bad day, I would sit down at the piano and just let out my emotions.
Tell me what we're making today.
Today, we're gonna take one of these old cigar boxes that probably would have been thrown away, and we're gonna give it some personality. The first thing we're gonna do today is choose the cigar box. Pick out one you
I like this shape.
All right, you like this shape?
Yeah.
And I've got one of these that's already been sanded down for us. Choose a photograph that you're gonna apply to the top of the box.
Since you play the piano beautifully, I think we go with the keys.
So we're gonna paint the box completely, inside and out, which is a little tricky.
So far, my hands are dirty just because I've done nothing. They've still got paint on them. You're like going at it. I'm afraid to get dirty, and you're going in.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, geez. Oh, wait, and look at how fun the lazy Susan is.
Isn't it? Now we're gonna apply the photograph to the box.
Spray adhesive is real sticky.
Box is down.
Oh my gosh, I'm nervous.
This is the best part. Now we're gonna flip it over and use an X-Acto knife to trim it out so it fits perfectly. And now we're going to apply a lacquer on top of the photo. This is it.
Okay, so we're gonna wait for that to dry?
Yeah, that's
Let's go
it.
listen to you play piano.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, go that way. Your music is dreamy.
Thank you.
I could listen to you play all day.
We'll hang out. So now let's add some embellishments.
so great. I love
Right?
it. How cute is that?
Right?
It's wonderful. Thank you so much for having me in your craft room.
Thanks, it's been a blast.
Absolutely.
You're awesome.
I will be back for sure. Thanks so much to George. Now we all know how to take an old cigar box and upcraft it into a masterful melodic piece of art. And that's what George is doing in his craft room. What are you doing in your craft room? I'll see you next time. George, this is really cool. Don't go anywhere. We've got more to come on Creative Living. Do you know how far out from the wedding you should book your venue? Well, we've got tips to help you with your wedding planning. As I mentioned, I am planning my own wedding, and keeping to a timeline can make the process a piece of cake. Wedding cake. A year out from your wedding date, you should reserve the venue so you can get the date you want and see if you can afford it. Also, hire a wedding planner to help you stay on top of everything. 8 months out, hire a caterer, photographer, and the entertainment. Also, buy your wedding dress so you have time to make alterations. 6 months before the big day, you should book your honeymoon and send out your save the date cards so your guests have time to book tickets and hotel. 2 months before your wedding is when the invitation should go out. And a month out from saying I do, get your marriage license. One last tip, get a 3-ring binder with folders so you can keep track of important dates, budget, contracts, and photo ideas for your dress, bridesmaid dresses, and wedding decor. By keeping organized, you can alleviate some of the pitfalls that could spoil your special day. Thanks so much for joining us here on Creative Living. I wish you all luck in planning your wedding. And I'll take a little bit too. I'm Jane Manzuris, and I'll see you next time.